You have successfully pushed the red button. Button.
Yes,
button,
I did that manually.
Button.
Yes.
Yes, you yourself, a human
pushed the button.
a human person,
Yes.
not a robot. Definitely not. It's natural intelligence. You have
Yes.
used your natural intelligence. This is so stupid.
Yes, I use my intelligence to push a button.
Yes, you did. So that means we're ready.
Oh, I thought we were now going to have a conversation about pushing buttons because I don't need my fingers for that.
You're pushing all my buttons, man. Na, 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 na. It's a cool
Okay,
song.
wow. That took a whole different turn. I was talking about annoying people.
Yeah. I know, but Pussycat Dolls. It's a great song. Yeah.
Like Miranda says, I don't know if you know the English British comedy Miranda.
No?
I thought you meant sexually.
Well, I think they do mean sexually.
Yeah.
In the song.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start.
This is the podcast help desk. How may I help you?
Second, third glass of wine. Okay, let's
No.
go. Hello. Hi. Again. Yes. Welcome to another episode of the Are We Better Friends Yet podcast, in which my lovely co-host Dianne van Giersbergen and myself, Marcela Bobbio, try to deepen our, one could say, interesting friendship.
Yes.
Because I think musically we think very similarly, but when it comes to everything else, maybe not so much.
We're quite different.
But so in today's episode, we are diving into the world of artificial intelligence. You know, those computer programs that are getting so smart, they might soon be writing our lyrics, our podcast scripts, and booking our gigs.
Like, what?
Well, we sit back and drink sparkling wine. Because, you know, as a matter of fact, yes, this script was actually written by an AI. Because we thought it was very suited.
So how did it know that we would be drinking wine?
Well, actually, that it got wrong because it says drinking sparkling wine, which I do have in my wine
Cellar.
cellar. It's not a cellar. The cellar. But instead, we are drinking a Malbec that we did have already together on a barbecue, and you mentioned that you liked. So,
Yes.
cheers.
It's a very fine wine.
The AI could not have known that because otherwise I should have told it before.
He wasn't invited to the barbecue.
Claude wasn't invited to
Claude? Are we
Claude.
calling him Claude?
Claude, it is the name. It's called Claude. Claude, it's an AI.
Met AU?
Claude. Claude.
Wow.
Yeah, and Claude is an AI that's good in creative writing. So I gave it, this is how I did it. I gave it the scripts of our previous episodes. And I told it to use them as a reference, and then he created this.
Can I tell you something? The script before, for the previous episode, I know for sure that was also AI. Yeah. Because AI has some giveaways.
Does it really?
As soon as you hear tapestry, especially tapestry of time, that is a dead giveaway. So if that's in someone's lyric, they've used AI. I don't know why, but that's it. I mean, yeah.
I mean, we cannot give full copyright rights for the word tapestry to AIs. One could come up with it, but one could come up with it.
That's true. But tapestry of time, that was the quote.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any tapestries on this script.
No, but it was in the previous one. I heard the word tapestry and I was like,
yeah, that's true. But anyway, this was definitely written by an AI.
Yeah.
So let's see how it holds up.
Yeah.
So we normally talk about how we've been since our last episode recording, but that has been like 10 minutes. So how have you been the last 10 minutes?
I'm good. I had an outfit change.
You did. I didn't.
Yeah. I just put on my my leather jacket again. No, I've been good. I've been talking to my good friend, doing a podcast together.
We've been talking, discussing some things.
Some things in
Some
between.
things.
In between.
In between.
Yeah, you explained me what my dream meant.
I did.
Yeah.
You already knew.
Yeah, kind of.
And
it was nothing sugary.
And now we have wine, which might mean that this episode is going to get a little bit more giggly.
Yes.
Yay, I hope so.
It's only one glass.
Well, the bottle is right there.
Yeah, but my car is right there.
Okay. Mine is parked in my garage.
Yeah, so you can go down in your cellar over there and just go nuts.
That would be great. Then you at some point you will probably have to replace me with an AI.
Yes, like these holographic, like the ABBA.
I know. No, I'm sorry.
Holograms.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't like that.
No, me neither. But well, if I have to,
you wanna get paid for a show? Be at the
here comes.
Show. No,
we're not even at statement 1, but here comes a statement. Statement 0.
Statement 0. Statement 0 is I don't like holograms. I don't like holograms. I don't like holograms. No, sorry. You show up to your own gig. I also don't like the Dio holograms and the Michael Jackson holograms. Let them rest. Let new bands, let new artists have a shot for sake. No?
Well, I was now thinking about I would want to see if it's a really good hologram of the Doors. Gosh, why can I not?
Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
That would make an excuse to see that.
But we could just let him rest. You know?
Yeah. And he kind of looks like my father when my father was younger, so that would be also
Your
weird.
father looked like Jim Morrison when he was young?
Ish.
Hold on.
But
Hold on.
Well, he's not available. And he's old.
But I need the receipts. I need
the receipts?
Yeah, the evidence. I need pictures.
Oh, yes, I can totally look that up for you.
Now I'm very curious.
My father...
The hair?
Yes.
Oh my God!
My father had like these curly hairs up to...
Shut
if you see my sister, the middle one,
yeah.
I don't know if you... She most of times has her hair like tied back.
Yeah.
But if she has it loose, she has curls, and it's exactly like my father. My father had this beautiful like dark blonde hair till there.
Oh my God.
And he was pretty hunky when he was younger.
He was pretty hunky.
I mean, I'm going to make a bad joke. I mean, come on.
I mean, look at the material.
Hello.
Look at the material.
This is just DNA
Good
speaking.
genes. Good genes.
No, that's horrible.
Should we get back on topic? How did we go from my dad is hunky? How did we get to my dad is a hunky? Jim
That
Morrison?
is actually a podcast that my other sister has told me that I should listen. Not my dad is hunky, but my daddy made a porn.
Oh yeah.
It's someone I
think I
should
heard
still
about
listen to. But if anyone has nothing to do after our episode's finished, go look that up. Yeah,
I'm very curious to listen back to this and see how we ended up here.
Yeah.
But anyway,
AI.
This episode's topic is artificial intelligence. So let's talk about it.
Yep.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, as the cool kids call it. We've seen it in movies, we've read about it in books, and now we're starting to see it in our everyday lives.
Yeah.
From voice assistants like Siri and Alexa to those eerie AI-generated images on social media, it's everywhere.
Yep.
Let's see if Diana and I are on the same page about these digital assistants, or if this is yet another topic that we'll disagree on. As always, we're going to talk about this through 3 statements, which I promise weren't generated by a robot. The AI wrote itself. I kid you not. Yes.
No, really?
Yeah. This is what it wrote. As always, we'll chat through our 3 statements, which I promise weren't generated by a robot, though that might have been faster than the 2 hours I spent thinking them up. And I didn't spend 2 hours thinking them up.
Wow.
So don't trust AI.
This is impressive and scary at the same time.
Don't trust it. So, statement number 1, which is by me.
Dun, dun.
I don't trust AI.
Yeah, good statement.
I don't trust AI. Let me tell you why.
Wow.
Because and this is true. I studied IT. I work in IT.
Ah,
So
can
yeah,
I?
sure. And you cannot fully trust AI because you might get wrong information. Every AI has like small letters somewhere where they tell you like, I'm going to give you an answer, but my answer might be wrong. So unless you are familiar with the subject matter, and this for all of you kids doing your homework with AI, it could be wrong.
Yeah.
It could be wrong. The first,
I need a moment. Wait.
so before I asked Claude to make a script for us, I asked ChatGPT, for instance, without any context, have you ever, what do you know about the podcast Are We Better Friends Yet?
Ooh, I want to know.
Well, I didn't. Oh, well, I did save it. Maybe I can look it back up. But it came up with different hosts.
Really?
It was just a bunch of lies.
Or
A
there's
bunch
another
of
podcast
lies.
out there that is called Are We Better Friends? Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think about that. I haven't Googled it, but it spun a web, a completely weird web of lies. So sometimes, well, the first time that I asked ChatGPT to see if, of course, I asked ChatGPT to see if it knew who I was, and it didn't. It didn't know me.
No?
No.
Say, ChatGPT, can you tell me how awesome I am? And he didn't know that.
I didn't save the conversation. That's too bad. But yeah, so it was all lies, blatant lies. So any AI is very good at, for instance, working with input, like I did now. Like I gave this AI scripts from our previous episodes as reference, and then it's very good, because it creates exactly. It takes the background story and it gives you something. But just asking it like random questions, you might get an answer that is completely wrong. And if you don't have the specialized knowledge to check,
you have to think for yourself.
Yeah, you have to think for yourself.
Yeah. That's right.
So I don't trust it. Do you trust AI?
Well, let me first start off by saying what I love about AI, and that is that it can quickly answer questions that you would maybe spend too long Googling. Yeah. So why should I search for something on Google and flick through all of these pages by myself while AI can do that? Like,
well, because it might be wrong. It might be wrong.
Yes, that's true. But then again, if I look on the Google pages and I have conflicting answers, then how do I choose what's right?
You look up more sources, and then you
know me?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm like, okay.
But that's the danger of it. You could be, sent astray.
Okay, but let me just list. I have an example. I had some foreign text papers.
Yeah.
That I needed to fill in, and I got really vague message on when they should.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on when they. I already told you that. On when they should be filled in, and it was like I wasn't sure if I should have filled them in before the end of March, or that they would have them ready before the end of March, and that I could be filling them in afterwards. There was this vague sentence in which they said that they should be ready in 5 days, and I wasn't sure if I should have them ready or they would have them ready.
Right.
So I just copy pasted that, put it in ChatGPT, and it was like, what does this mean? And they translated that into Dutch, and I still wasn't quite sure. So I said, but does it mean either A or B? And then it responded with, don't you worry. It means they will have it ready. They're timing this at the end of March, and you have all the time afterwards to fill that in. And I was like, it sees me. It knows my struggle, and I was so happy with that.
Yeah, I remember you told me about this, and that you were so
Relieved.
relieved that the that the AI was very reassuring and very trying
but
to
there was
comfort you
this
with
very kind
it's a
tone
very
in
kind
there.
tone. Yeah.
Yes.
They
And
tend to be kind if you're kind.
yeah, and did you know that for example, ChatGPT is quite often used for people with mental
Illness.
illness, just to speak
Yes.
to
Actually,
someone
as a matter of
or
fact,
someone.
Claude
Some ish
yeah Claude the AI that I use for
is a good
generating.
friend of yours.
No, but it is known for being good with the sentimental on the emotion
Yeah,
stuff. And there is a thing like therapy, AI
yeah, yeah.
sort of therapy. Yeah,
So that I find interesting because
absolutely.
loneliness, and I don't know how it is worldwide, but in the Netherlands, this is now a much discussed topic
Yeah, it's growing.
because so many, elderly people, but nowadays also, especially since COVID,
Yeah,
younger people are lonely, and many of them are turning towards AI to have conversations that they cannot have with friends or family or.
yeah.
Wow.
Strange, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it in a way, it's almost a little bit dystopian.
I mean, I pushed it away for a long time.
Mm.
And then I was like, okay, let's try this out. And it was instantly, it was like, well, I'm going to use this.
Yeah, I think as long as we all understand that there are some use cases which is perfect for, and some which you have to be careful with.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for hard cold facts of stuff that you know nothing about, then you have to be careful because you might get an answer that is not true.
Yeah.
But if you are working with subjective matter,
Yeah.
writing stuff, for instance, like I have to write an email for my boss, or I have to craft a pitch for Spotify. Those are things that
I did totally not use it.
no, but those are things that you are very much able to evaluate if the result is conform. What
Absolutely,
your expectation
because
is.
for my Spotify pitch, I did the same thing as you just did with the scripts.
Yeah.
I gave AI all of the pitches that I wrote and said, what am I doing wrong? Wrong. What can I improve on?
Yeah.
And then I love that it opens with, I'm repeating myself here, you did a really good job, but here are a few tips.
Right. Even more effective strategy would be if we had access to a lot of successful Spotify pitches. So like if you knew exactly like, okay, these pitches, like they were really chosen for playlists.
Yeah.
If you would use them as an input, then you would get better results. You know what I mean? So that's how it works.
I know.
The better the input, the better the results.
But then
and
again,
unfortunately,
there are still humans reading the pitch. So as soon as these humans read Tapestry of Time, they're like, oh, out.
As long as there's no tapestry of time. Tapestry of time. But I will, actually, I'm going to tell you about another time that I used an AI that I thought it was extremely effective. I wrote a letter and, a
love letter?
A love letter, kind of. And it was very nice, what it came up with, but it was indeed a little, maybe very eloquent with words.
Yeah.
But then I asked the AI, like, how can I change this so that it sounds a little bit more grounded and more human and less AI? And the AI said, like, well, if you want to sound less like an AI, then maybe you would use less, like eloquent words, shorter sentences. And I asked them, like, okay, change it so that it sounds a little bit more grounded, more human. And then it made it all like very simple, but then it was like very boring and not so poetic and not so beautiful.
Are shorter sentences more human? Because I use very long sentences.
It's more simple. It's not so much, I mean, like
eloquent.
This script, like what did I just say? Like these like super complicated long sentences. But you know what I mean? So it
sounds a little bit like my lyrics.
Yeah. No, but that can be a style that you implement yourself when you write personally. So that might not be, but
and talking about lyrics, I do use AI nowadays, but not to write lyrics. But when I love this. Watch this. When I have a complete line, a sentence you have to put it to the vocal line, so it has to match, and it has the emphasis has to be on the correct note. Otherwise, you get very good example is Ruthless Queen.
Oh yeah, Ruthless.
Ruthless Queen.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. I can't listen to it because of that.
Yep.
Otherwise, you get those kind of mistakes. But if you don't have someone helping you out, like AI, you have to redo the whole sentence. But now I can just tell AI, I have this line, I need this word or this meaning there. Which words would be suitable with the correct, how do you say that, emphasis?
Yeah, with the stress in the correct place.
It saved me a few times already. Like, you can use this. And then I say, yeah, that's nice, but not poetic enough. Oh, have you thought about duk, 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 duk?
Did it really work?
Oh, gosh, this works.
Huh. That's very
yeah. So the lyrics are mine, but I might have asked AI for some suggestions.
Yes. We're tapping on some topics that are going to come up in the future in the next statements, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. But so does it mean that you trust AI?
Well, I saw a reel which said, did you know that you could add ChatGPT to your WhatsApp? And I did not know how fast I was already in WhatsApp implementing the number. So I now have ChatGPT on WhatsApp.
Oh my God.
I've now actually pinned it so that I don't have to look it up anymore. So I guess that means yes.
Right.
But what I look up is like baking recipes.
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
that.
But that's the thing, that those are things that are not, you can very easily evaluate yourself if it's going to work or not.
And what I also do
because you've cooked before. But what if you've never cooked before, and then you get a recipe when it says like, put your oven to 500 degrees Celsius.
And I'm like, great, who are we cremating?
And bake this cookie for 2 hours. That if you're baking a cookie, the cookie's going to be cremated. But someone who has never baked before,
you still have to use your head.
Exactly, but that's my point.
Yeah.
If I ask it like, okay, I need to redo my electrical wires in my room, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Maybe it tells me the right things, and maybe it doesn't.
No.
And I have no way of knowing because I don't know anything about electricity.
My father is an electrician.
Electrician. Yeah. So I could send it to you, but you know what I mean? So you always, for the things that you know nothing about, it's a little bit tricky to ask AI because you don't know.
That's true. But it's very good in grammar correcting, and I love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I might write this lyric thing. Anyway, statement number 2. Which you supposedly generated, supposedly you came up with this. But of course you didn't, because Claude came up with all of this.
Does he also like make French grammar errors? Because Claude...
It sounds very French, doesn't it? Yeah, well, we can ask him later.
We should...
We can ask for more statements if we find that we already answered it.
So what was the original statement?
No, well, the statement number 3 that was AI generated was, would you let AI write lyrics for your next song?
No, never the full lyric.
Never the full lyrics.
No.
Absolutely not.
I will and have asked AI to help out when I'm stuck.
Yeah.
But it's my journey. Yeah. I want to tell a story.
Absolutely.
I would not.
Yeah.
No. I'm not thinking about like, how would it know what the vocal line is? How would that work? Would you like implement a vocal line, and would it understand where the key moments are?
No, I think this is a scenario where, well, I guess if you had a way of giving it like the full rhythm of the verses, like, okay, this verse has so many syllables and the stress is here and here. The next one has so many syllables and it's here and here.
Yeah, but then again, imagine how...
And it should be about this and this. It would be an interesting exercise.
Knowledge, interesting indeed. But how much knowledge that it would have. For example, classical singing versus belting needs different vowels.
Oh no, yeah.
How
of
would it
course.
know that?
You could tell it. You can tell
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but that's the thing. You first have to teach it something,
Of
and then
course.
but that's everything, and then it needs an update.
No, 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 no.
It
No, like
oh wait, does
for
it
instance.
update itself? Because now I'm extra interested.
Yes. No, for instance, I have a project here called "Are We Better Friends Yet?"
Marcela's looking at an AI screen.
I'm looking at AI. It's basically nothing. It's plot, and you can make projects with just a way of organizing different chats that you have, and this is the knowledge that I gave it, and these are our scripts. So you can make a project and say, okay, I'm writing lyrics about, I don't know, this historical figure.
Yeah.
You can add full books if you want. You
Really?
don't have to read the full books, but you can put them as part of the knowledge that the AI should use.
This hurts. Did you know that? Because
know.
you said books. That's literally what I did for Anne.
I know. And it will be a very interesting exercise just for fun. We could do that at some point, see what happens.
Yeah.
To all of the books that you read for to create those lyrics.
No, and well, actually, I now want to just ask Claude, what do you look like? Are you French?
You can ask him.
Are you French? And if so, what do you look like?
Are you French?
I'm so curious as to what he will say. Are you French?
I'm not French. I'm Claude. I'm an AI assistant made by Anthropic. I don't have a nationality in the human sense, though I can certainly communicate in French if you prefer.
No.
Would you like me to switch to French for our conversation? Je serais heureux de continuer en français si vous préférez.
No. Can you now say, talk to me like one of your French girls?
Talk to me like one of your French girls.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
I understand you're making a playful reference to the famous line from the movie Titanic.
Wow.
Well, I can't quite channel a French girl persona in that sense. I'd be happy to chat in a more casual conversational French style if you like. And then it goes on like, je peux parler en français si vous préférez, avec un peu plus de charme et d'élégance dans mes expressions. Nous pourrons discuter de la vie, de l'art, de la philosophie ou simplement de ce qui vous intéresse aujourd'hui. Very nice. Or we can continue in English, he says.
Yes, please.
That's nice.
Because what I just heard you saying was Joey speaking French. Yeah.
I hope our French listeners.
Yeah, I don't want
make
to
fun of me.
insult you, but my Italian is better than my French. My Russian is better than my French.
Your Russian is better than.
I sang Russian arias in school.
I only know Spasiba Bolshoi, Kako Vazdila, and some bad words.
What does it mean?
Kako Vazdila, how are you doing? Kako Vazdila. In a very formal way, I've been told. Anyway, yeah, I wouldn't let AI write my lyrics either. I have used it sometimes for inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, imagine I want to make a metaphor about this. Like, can you give me like some ideas?
Yeah.
And then it spans this like mega huge web that I can use for inspiration. But it's always, like you said, I mean, it would be a very interesting exercise to do what we just talked about. Like if you could give it all the specifics, like where do you want to stress the sentences and the words have to be stressed?
Yeah.
Which vowels do you want for certain moments so that they match with?
But I think, of course, it would be an interesting exercise, but
just for that.
Because we would have to invest so much time into teaching it.
It's just once.
Yeah, that's
Imagine
true.
you come up with the rules of the game and then you just send it like, okay, I'm going to send you like a sort of like code.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the first sentence, for instance, is 7 syllables, then I'm going to put like 7 X's. And the X means that there's no stress, and an O means that it's stress. And so then you have like this little
Okay, so here's where your passion lies. I'm still yelling at my computer when it does something I don't want it to do. So can I teach AI this? No.
I'm gonna see if I can come up with a way, and then we can just play with it and see what happens. I still don't think that I would allow it. I wouldn't let it write my lyrics, especially because now I try to write a song with the lyrics from the beginning.
Yeah.
Instead of coming with the melody first, well, now I have a couple of songs that I'm writing and that I have a melody and no lyrics, which is very annoying because then you have to fit the idea to the lyrics.
Yeah.
But for me, the best way is to come up with the lyrics as I'm coming up with everything at once, and then there is no compromise in the melody.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's the classical approach to first have the libretto and then the music.
Yeah.
And then it's very pop ish to first have the music and then add the lyrics.
Yeah. I think that the songs that I'm the happiest with, I've come up with everything
together
at the same time.
Wow.
So as I'm coming up with the chords, I'm coming up with words that somehow like have already
they are the most organic ones. Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm most happy with.
Yeah.
So you do that, AI? I think not. maybe it can.
But we've been talking about mainly text now, but let's open up the whole Photoshop chapter. Or is that the next?
It's not, but absolutely. Should we make it that statement number 3?
3.
Like I would let AI come up with the artwork for my album.
Well, definitely not the artwork because.
However, have you seen the things that you can do with? What's the name of that AI that comes up with? Midjourney. Midjourney. Have you checked out Midjourney?
Honestly, haven't heard of this. Midjourney.
Insane. Midjourney. These are all AI generated images.
Really?
Yes. So as long as you can describe with words
what you want to see,
Midjourney will make it for you.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Look, that's very close to your dragon dog from the previous episode.
I can ask Midjourney to create a beautiful picture of Falcor, and I think it would.
Is that a see-through fish?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You've seen this already.
No, I'm just looking at it, and yes, it's a see-through fish.
Wow.
So, but this is the prompt. This is what the person.
Okay.
So it's a little bit complicated, but
it's very complicated.
Yeah, but it can create beautiful things. I mean, look at this. It's really amazing.
This looks much more like these are AI artists. So still humans who are smart enough to write a correct prompt and then.
But it's all about the references, and this is where you would excel. Because you can tell AI, I want these colors, I want this composition, I want it in the style of this painter. Yeah. I want it on the style of this art stream. For instance, this is like a minimalistic drawing of a crab in geometric style. I'm going to have to save this so that I can maybe put it in the video or something. And that's what it is. So you have to know your styles. You have to know your visual references. I don't have this.
But let me stop you right there because that is exactly what I do with Teresa, the one I'm working with for my artwork. So I gave her that's sort of a prompt, but the things she comes up with, I just love that. And maybe I could. It would be interesting to just give the same brief,
same prompt to an AI to see what it comes up with.
What it comes up with.
Yeah. The thing is with these things, it's very often it's trial and error because you generate a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Which all cost credits, which all cost money, of course. And some things are not going to be beautiful, and some things are going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you later because there's also a way that you can create like sort of like avatars. So you can upload photos of yourself so that the AI knows what you look like so that it can put you in these situations.
Yeah, I think my fans do that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen now.
They're not supposed to.
I do like to see them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say is that I love that people value my artistry, and that's pretty. And I also want to value other people's artistry. I mean, I studied classical music.
Yeah.
So at the core, human artistry should be what matters first. And I can see artistry in that because I see the length the prompt has.
Yeah.
So
There's a certain
it is not completely AI generated, but I love that my artworks, so the covers of the songs, are digitally painted,
yeah.
and they therefore reference the education that I've had. So again, I love having these full circles.
Yeah, and this
That
is
would be
something that
different
yeah.
with AI.
and we haven't talked about this at all, but of course, look, as someone who is visually and graphically challenged, I can really value the having the possibility of using words or something more, you know, like auditive descriptive to
Yeah.
create something visual because
Yeah.
I have no means of creating something visual. Um, but it is a matter of fact that all of these AIs are trained
Yeah.
with products or art
Yeah.
that was created by actual human people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which might have a challenge now because generating images with AI is way less expensive than commissioning art.
Yeah. Maybe, but
No, it absolutely is. You can buy a subscription for Midjourney for like $30 a month,
yeah.
and you can generate. I don't know. I don't really know how much it costs. To be
Okay,
honest.
so then there is a difference. But then again, who am I sustaining if I do a subscription?
Yeah, but you care.
Yeah.
I also, us being also creators of art,
Yeah.
music, then, but different. But we care that that artists receive the recognition and the work. I don't know if I would be like ethically comfortable having an AI create my artwork, knowing that that AI was trained on the material of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who are then not having jobs because the AI is taking them. So that's
Absolutely.
which I think. Imagine we don't work on syncing music, like music that is created for syncing. But the people that do, they also might be challenged now because AI can write music that is perfectly usable for video,
Absolutely.
background,
Yeah.
TV background things.
Yeah.
So anyone can do it technically. I mean, there is a certain skill. That's something that I've begun to appreciate with like these.
Shut it up, because we're so distracted by all these pictures.
It is a certain art to create these prompts, but it's absolutely so different than actually creating the art, creating the drawings, creating the photographs.
Also, because I believe that I'm making music for human beings, not for computers to see. So I believe that in the core, there should be a soul in my work, and it should be in every layer. So it should be in the video, it should be in the artwork, in the lyrics, in the music, in the instruments.
Yeah.
I believe that something really gets lost if I let a computer do that, because it will all be
question. Yeah.
generic.
But that's the question. Will we be able to tell if this technology keeps improving? Will we be able to tell?
Yes, I think now we can definitely tell. Later on, maybe not so much. But later on, it will also be a part of society much more than it is now. And it's something that we cannot stop, because this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet is everywhere. When the internet was first announced, there was also a big like, oh, I don't want it. I don't want it in my house because it will interfere with, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah, it was great because I could search for all of these metal bands that I liked, and very few people knew about in Mexico. And then they have websites, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is how they look like." And then you would spend like a half an hour like downloading a picture, like very slowly
Yeah.
with the dial-up
Yeah,
modem.
yeah.
It was great.
No, but it's we should do this podcast again in 20 years, and then we will laugh about what we just said.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I know it's inevitable, but also freaky.
Maybe. I saw a clip of another podcast in which they asked AI, "How would you take over the world?"
Oh yeah.
And the answer was kind of, "I'm already doing it, but you're not.
Oh my god.
You didn't realize that."
Oh my god. Well, they also say there's also a very big chance that it's just like, comes back, the hype comes back down because they're saying that. I've seen it somewhere that the whole like .com trend, when everyone had a startup in the internet and everyone had a website that you
Yeah.
could subscribe to, whatever, that had like a very steep rise, and it's just
yeah,
calm down.
Yeah.
That it could
Yeah.
be the same with AI. We'll see.
maybe we'll see. Yeah.
We shall see.
I mean, but yeah, it's not AI, but robots are helping us everywhere. I mean, vacuums.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I can make my
TVs.
robot vacuum
It's so
smarter with
smart
AI.
technology. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is great. I mean,
I mean, the Ring doorbell that I've sent you, the robot that just flies through your house if it
Come
detects
on.
sound.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Technology. But you do know that more technology means more updates, don't you?
Yes, and I've my good friend.
Shall we move on?
We shall.
I mean, I don't know how many statements we've done so far.
A lot, and none of them, or well, most of them not given to us by AI. Just by
Sort of, because it did come up with the writing
with the
lyrics.
beginning, yeah.
But I don't think AI wants to discuss the ethical side of itself. Maybe so.
No.
It kept it all very fun. But
But
in its defense,
yeah,
it had our previous scripts as reference, and they're all very
funny.
very funny and very
Yes,
light.
well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just leave it at that and move on to the podcast playlist. Because now that we have, this is what I wrote up. Well, now that we've thoroughly explored our feelings about AI overlords potentially taking over the world, or at least our Spotify accounts,
I didn't know I
let's
would
move
say
on to
that.
our podcast playlist segment. As we mentioned at the start, we recorded our previous episode, Dreams and Nightmares, just before this one. So we don't have the voting results yet. But that doesn't stop us from picking songs for this episode. Diana.
Yeah. Am I again first? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I made a little like personal detour.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, but in a way that the first thing that came up with my head is my love-hate relationship with computers. Therefore,
Oh!
everything AI. But the thing I came up with is an album.
Oh, okay.
So the album I came up with was "Okay Computer,"
Okay, computer.
and then I had
love-
I had
Okay
to scroll
Computer.
through the songs to see which one still fitted the topic.
Yeah,
And you already know which one I'm gonna.
I'm not sure, but I
for it.
hope.
A Paranoid Android.
Yes.
Yes. Especially
Oh.
because there's this lyric in there which says, "If I am king, you would be first against a wall." And it was that's definitely what the AI would say if it was taking over the world. If I am king, you human.
Oh, you are hitting me where it hurts because
Would
Okay
be
Computer.
first.
I love Okay Computer. And
Yes.
I love
Me too.
Paranoid Android.
Yeah. So sorry.
That's a good
sorry.
choice. That's a good
Eh.
choice.
And that was not an AI choice. It was all me with my human head.
Very nice, very nice. I also chose a song with my own head.
Oh,
Not,
Congrats.
uh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Computerized by Arian. I've sung this song a couple of times.
I think everything Arian fits this topic.
Well, yeah, pretty much everything. Everything Arian fits this topic, but I chose Computerized because it's also a song that means a lot to me because it was one of the songs that we performed also in the first Stream of Passion tour with Aryan.
Yeah.
And I sung it with my sister. It was a duet, and it is about computers taking over. There's no escape.
Yeah, Aryan is like from the future, I think.
You know, when we were once at a sand lane recording facilities, getting ready for one of the Aryan shows, and we were talking about with Aryan was there, and the other backing vocalists were there, and Yos was there.
I know what you're gonna say.
And,
but
and,
say it anyway.
and we were talking about I know AI crazy, right? Like how AI is getting these days. And I tell Aryan, like, you should write an album about this. And he's like, are you serious?
I'm like,
no.
yeah.
But I'm thinking,
You're
know,
funny.
like,
Have you met the man?
Have you met? Have you heard the albums at all? And then he's like, oh yeah. No, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so up to you, our dear listeners.
Yes.
Which song should make it? Are you going for Paranoid Android?
Okay. Absolutely.
Which song?
Especially because I wait. Let me show this. My phone's here. Wait 1 moment. Because I am also paranoid about the Android.
Ah.
What I have to protect myself from I have this little slide of my camera. And I have it on every device.
You know that we don't hear anything that you're saying now because you're not holding the microphone.
Okay, sorry.
You need to hold your microphone
Yeah.
close to your mouth.
Hello.
Yeah, actually.
Oh.
This is actually great.
Anyways, I have this little slide, like cover slide
For your camera.
thingy over my camera.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do have to tell you, though, that...
Yeah, I know it listens, but I don't care.
No. But when it comes to the camera, I don't think it's AI that you have to worry about, but hackers. Like actual human hackers. That's why you put that there.
Yeah.
For the actual...
I don't want
human.
anyone to
Human-
be able to
Human people.
access my camera.
Okay,
oh,
but yes,
yeah, I
paranoid.
think that's true. That and that social media instantly opens your camera. It's in the little letters. Because then they're faster if you want to make like a story or something. So as soon as you open Facebook or Instagram, it switches on your camera.
And they have access to all of your pictures.
All of them?
Unless you tell it explicitly that you do not want it to have.
What?
access to all of your
Facebook and
pictures.
Instagram?
Yes, ma'am.
Like, can they post the pictures that you have on your phone?
Well, technically, yes. Of course, they don't do it, but technically, they do have access to your whole photo album library. Unless in the iPhone, you have the option to limit the access to just the photos that you selected. If you want to get paranoid, we can go very far. But we're not gonna. We're just gonna ask you to vote for your favorite song.
Yeah.
Either
Paranoid Android.
by Radiohead or Computerized by Arian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you all for joining us on this adventure into the world of artificial intelligence. Are you team embrace the robots or team unplug everything and run for the hills? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Run for your life. Okay, feel free to connect with us on our social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and even support us on Patreon for exclusive content and early access to our episodes.
Yay!
Remember that you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and our Anchor page. You can watch us on YouTube. You can give us a thumbs up, a 5-star rating on Spotify. Please do so. Well, only if you like.
If you like.
But you do like it. You like it.
You
a lot.
like it. Can you drive?
We'll be back with a new episode in 2 weeks. That's what Claude says. Claude might have
Will he be
might
here?
have it a little bit wrong, but in the meantime, maybe ponder whether your phone is secretly planning world domination.
Dun, dun,
So, Dianne, after this deep dive into artificial minds, I have to ask: are we better friends yet?
Well, we have to ask Claude. Claude,
I will ask it. but
are
I'm gonna-
we better friends yet?
Claude?
Are you going to ask him if you You and Claude are better friends yet? Or
and
Dianne. Yeah.
me better
Claude,
friends.
are Dianne and me better friends yet?
Based on the podcast scripts you've shared, it seems like Marcela Bobby and Dianne van Giersberg have definitely grown closer through their Are We Better Friends Yet podcast journey. The podcast format itself is designed around exploring their friendship and differences in a lighthearted way. Okay, so throughout the episodes, they've shared personal stories and experiences on topics ranging from magic to entrepreneurship to frightening encounters.
It does
They
know
have
us.
playfully competed with their song choices for the podcast playlist, revealed aspects of their personalities through discussions about their sisters, pet ownership, and even their genetic traits, maintained a friendly, bantering dynamic that shows comfort and trust with each other.
Wow. But that is exactly what I was going to say.
The closing question they always ask seems to be answered with a resounding yes, based on their continued collaboration and the playful, warm dynamic evident in the scripts.
Right. So,
Okay, well, there you go.
yeah.
The computer says yes.
Good one.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Bye.